Evolution of the Toyota Corolla, 2000 to 2026. If someone told you there was a car that could survive hundreds of thousands of kilometers, endure years of neglect, conquer rough roads on nearly every continent, and still start every morning without complaint, what would you guess? A luxury German sedan? A rugged pickup truck? Maybe an expensive SUV? Probably not, because that car is the Toyota Corolla. For over 5 decades, the Corolla has quietly become more than just a car. It's a global phenomenon. While sports cars grabbed headlines and luxury brands chased innovation, Toyota focused on something far more valuable: building a vehicle ordinary people could trust every single day. That simple philosophy paid off. Today, the Corolla is the best-selling car nameplate in automotive history, with more than 50 million units sold worldwide. It's the trusted companion of students, taxi drivers, growing families, commuters, and first-time car owners alike. But here's what makes the story even more fascinating. The Corolla you see today is nothing like the one that rolled off the assembly line at the turn of the millennium. Over the past 26 years, Toyota has transformed this humble economy car into a modern machine packed with cutting-edge technology, advanced safety systems, hybrid powertrains, and a design that finally turned heads instead of blending into traffic. So how did the world's most dependable sedan evolve from a simple commuter into one of the smartest compact cars on the road? Let's take a journey through every major transformation of the Toyota Corolla, from 2000 all the way to 2026. The early 2000s marked a turning point for the automotive industry. Customers no longer wanted cars that were simply reliable. They wanted better fuel economy, improved safety, more comfortable interiors, modern technology, and attractive styling, all without sacrificing affordability. Manufacturers across the globe were racing to meet those expectations. Honda had the Civic. Nissan had the Sentra. Mazda introduced increasingly sporty compact sedans. Hyundai was beginning its remarkable rise. Competition had never been tougher. Toyota knew it couldn't rely on reputation alone. If the Corolla wanted to remain the world's favorite compact sedan, it had to evolve. And that's exactly what it did. The 9th generation 2000-2006 E120/E130. When Toyota unveiled the 9th generation Corolla in the early 2000s, it wasn't trying to reinvent the formula. Instead, it perfected it. At first glance, the design looked modest. Smooth curves replaced the boxy styling of the previous generation, giving the Corolla a cleaner and more modern appearance. But the real improvements were hidden beneath the surface. Toyota engineers completely redesigned the platform, making the car stronger, quieter, and noticeably more comfortable. Passengers immediately noticed the difference. The cabin felt roomier. Road noise was reduced. The suspension absorbed bumps more smoothly, making daily driving far less tiring. This wasn't just an economy car anymore. It felt surprisingly refined. Then came one of Toyota's greatest engineering advantages: VVTi, or variable valve timing with intelligence. While the name sounded technical, the idea was simple. The engine could adjust its valve timing automatically, producing better performance when you accelerated while saving fuel during everyday driving. It was smarter, it was cleaner, and it helped make the Corolla one of the most fuel-efficient cars in its class. Depending on the market, buyers could choose from engines ranging from compact 1.4-liter units all the way up to reliable 1.8-liter petrol engines, with diesel options available in several countries. No matter which version you chose, one thing remained constant: reliability. Mechanics around the world quickly noticed that these engines were incredibly durable. Routine oil changes, regular servicing, and basic maintenance were often enough to keep them running for decades. Stories of Corollas reaching 300,000, 400,000, or even 500,000 kilometers without major engine repairs became surprisingly common. That reputation spread quickly. And once customers trusted Toyota, they rarely switched brands. Safety also took a significant step forward. Dual front airbags became increasingly common. Anti-lock braking systems, or ABS, were offered on many models. The body structure was strengthened to improve crash protection, giving drivers and passengers greater peace of mind. While these features may sound ordinary today, they represented meaningful progress for compact cars at the time. Toyota wasn't chasing flashy headlines. It was quietly making the Corolla safer, stronger, and more dependable with every update. Inside the cabin, practicality remained the priority. The controls were simple and intuitive. The air conditioning was powerful enough to handle hot climates. Storage compartments were plentiful. Visibility was excellent thanks to the large windows and slim roof pillars. It wasn't luxurious. It wasn't sporty. But it was comfortable enough to make every journey feel effortless. And sometimes that's exactly what drivers needed. Perhaps the greatest achievement of the 9th generation Corolla wasn't a feature you could see. It was confidence. People bought one knowing it would start every morning. Parents passed theirs down to their children. Taxi operators depended on them to earn a living. Across Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, and the Middle East, the Corolla quietly built a reputation that few cars have ever matched. Toyota had created something more than reliable transportation. It had created trust. And that trust would become the foundation for everything that followed. By the mid-2000s, the Corolla had earned a reputation that every automaker envied. It was dependable, fuel-efficient, affordable, and built to last. But there was one criticism Toyota couldn't ignore. People respected the Corolla. They just didn't get excited about it. While rivals like the Honda Civic embraced bold styling and sportier driving dynamics, the Corolla was often seen as the sensible option. The car you bought with your head instead of your heart. Toyota knew it was time for a change. And in 2007, that change arrived. The 10th generation 2007-2013 E140/E150. The 10th generation Corolla wasn't about making headlines with radical designs. Instead, Toyota focused on refining every part of the ownership experience. The first thing buyers noticed was its size. The new Corolla was longer, wider, and offered a more spacious cabin. Rear passengers enjoyed extra legroom, while the larger trunk made family trips and daily errands more practical. Behind the wheel, the difference was even more noticeable. The steering felt smoother. The suspension absorbed potholes with greater confidence. Road and wind noise were significantly reduced, giving the cabin a quieter, more premium feel. For many owners, it felt like driving a car from a class above. Toyota also modernized the interior without making it overly complicated. The dashboard featured a cleaner layout with improved materials, making the cabin feel more refined than previous generations. Higher trim levels introduced features that were becoming increasingly important to buyers. Bluetooth connectivity allowed hands-free phone calls. Steering wheel-mounted controls let drivers manage audio without taking their hands off the wheel. Keyless entry added everyday convenience. These features may seem ordinary now, but at the time they helped the Corolla keep pace with rapidly changing customer expectations. Under the hood, Toyota continued to improve efficiency rather than chase outright performance. The proven VVTi engines became smoother and more refined, while fuel economy remained one of the Corolla's strongest selling points. Some markets also received more efficient diesel engines, offering excellent mileage for long-distance drivers. The automatic transmission was tuned for comfort, while manual versions remained popular among drivers who preferred more control. It wasn't built to dominate drag races. It was engineered to make every commute effortless. And for millions of people, that mattered far more. Safety continued to evolve as well. Toyota strengthened the body structure once again, while many models featured multiple airbags, anti-lock braking systems, electronic brake force distribution, and vehicle stability control on higher trims. The Corolla was becoming more than just reliable. It was becoming one of the safest compact sedans available. Yet despite all these improvements, critics still had one complaint. The Corolla was dependable, but it still lacked personality. Toyota listened. And when the next generation arrived, everything changed. The 11th generation 2014-2019 E170/E180. If you parked a 2014 Corolla beside its predecessor, you'd immediately notice the difference. Gone were the soft, conservative lines. In their place stood a sharper, more aggressive design with angular headlights, a wider grille, sculpted body panels, and a lower stance that made the Corolla look far more athletic than ever before. For the first time in years, people weren't just buying the Corolla because it was practical. They were buying it because they genuinely liked how it looked. Toyota had finally given its best-selling sedan a stronger personality. Step inside, and the transformation continued. The cabin felt cleaner, more modern, and noticeably more premium. A touchscreen infotainment system became the centerpiece of the dashboard, replacing the basic audio units of previous generations. Bluetooth audio streaming, USB connectivity, voice commands, and navigation became available depending on the trim level. Higher-spec models offered automatic climate control, push-button start, premium upholstery, and multifunction displays that made the Corolla feel surprisingly upscale. The gap between economy cars and premium sedans was beginning to shrink. Under the skin, Toyota engineers continued refining what the Corolla did best. Ride quality improved. Steering became more precise. Fuel economy remained excellent. And the familiar engines earned an even stronger reputation for durability. This generation also saw the widespread adoption of the continuously variable transmission, or CVT. Unlike traditional automatic gearboxes that shift through fixed gears, a CVT provides smooth, uninterrupted acceleration. Some drivers loved its efficiency and seamless operation. Others missed the feel of conventional gear changes. Either way, the new transmission helped reduce fuel consumption and emissions, an increasingly important goal for automakers around the world. Perhaps the biggest leap came in safety. Toyota began introducing Toyota Safety Sense on many Corolla models, bringing advanced driver assistance features that were once reserved for luxury vehicles. Drivers could now benefit from systems designed to detect potential collisions, warn when drifting out of a lane, and automatically switch between high and low beams at night. Adaptive cruise control also became available in many markets, helping maintain a safe distance from the vehicle ahead during highway driving. For everyday drivers, these weren't just gadgets. They were technologies that could help prevent accidents before they happened. Then there was the Corolla's growing global appeal. Whether it was navigating the crowded streets of Lagos, cruising through Los Angeles, weaving through Tokyo traffic, or handling long highway journeys across Europe, the Corolla adapted effortlessly. Its reputation wasn't built in one country. It was earned on roads across the world. By the end of the 2010s, Toyota had achieved something remarkable. The Corolla was no longer viewed as just the safe option. It had become stylish, modern, connected, and packed with technology while remaining true to the reliability that made it famous. But Toyota wasn't finished, because the biggest transformation in the Corolla's history was still to come. A completely new platform, a dramatic leap in handling, electrified powertrains, a premium interior, and technology that would redefine what buyers expected from a compact sedan. The Corolla was about to enter a new era. And this time, it wasn't just trying to keep up with the competition. It was ready to lead. By the end of the 2010s, the Corolla had already proven one thing beyond any doubt. It could outlast almost anything on the road. But Toyota knew that reliability alone wasn't enough anymore. Drivers wanted sharper handling, smarter technology, greater efficiency, and a car that felt just as exciting behind the wheel as it looked from the outside. So, in 2019, Toyota introduced what many enthusiasts consider the biggest leap in the Corolla's history. This wasn't just another redesign. It was a complete reinvention. The 12th generation 2019 to 2022 E210. The first thing that caught everyone's attention was the design. The Corolla no longer looked like a car that simply blended into traffic. It looked confident, lower, wider, more aggressive. The slim LED headlights, sculpted body lines, bold front grille, and athletic stance gave it a premium appearance that rivaled cars costing much more. For the first time in decades, people weren't just calling the Corolla reliable. They were calling it beautiful. But the biggest changes weren't on the outside. They were underneath. Toyota built the new Corolla on its revolutionary TNGA, or Toyota New Global Architecture, platform. To the average driver, that name might not mean much. But behind the wheel, the difference was impossible to ignore. The center of gravity was lower. The chassis was significantly stiffer. Weight distribution improved. Cornering became sharper. The ride became smoother. Even high-speed stability felt more composed. For years, critics had accused the Corolla of being boring to drive. The 12th generation answered those critics with confidence. It still prioritized comfort. But now it could put a smile on the driver's face too. Step inside, and the transformation continued. The cabin felt more like a premium sedan than an entry-level compact car. Soft-touch materials replaced hard plastics in many areas. The dashboard adopted a clean, horizontal layout centered around a floating touchscreen display. Depending on the trim, drivers enjoyed Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, voice controls, wireless charging, multiple USB ports, and digital information displays that made every journey feel connected. Higher trims even featured leather seating, ambient lighting, and premium audio systems. Toyota had clearly listened to what modern drivers wanted. But perhaps the most significant advancement came under the hood. Hybrid technology. While Toyota had pioneered hybrid vehicles decades earlier, the Corolla now embraced electrification on a much larger scale. By combining a petrol engine with an electric motor, hybrid models delivered smoother acceleration, lower fuel consumption, and significantly reduced emissions. In city driving, where stop-and-go traffic normally wastes fuel, the electric motor could handle much of the work. That meant fewer visits to the fuel station, lower running costs, and a quieter driving experience. As fuel prices continued to rise around the world, the Corolla Hybrid quickly became one of the smartest choices in the compact sedan market. Safety reached an entirely new level. Toyota equipped many Corolla models with Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, a suite of advanced driver assistance technologies designed to help drivers avoid accidents before they happen. Features such as a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with steering assist, dynamic radar cruise control, road sign assist, automatic high beams, and lane tracing assist became available across many markets. Not long ago, these were features you'd expect to find only in luxury vehicles. Now they were available in one of the world's most affordable and dependable sedans. Toyota wasn't simply building reliable cars anymore. It was building intelligent ones. 2023 to 2026, refining perfection. After such a dramatic redesign, many people expected Toyota to introduce an entirely new Corolla within a few years. Instead, the company chose a different strategy. Rather than reinventing the Corolla again, Toyota focused on refining what already worked exceptionally well. Beginning with the 2023 model year, the Corolla received meaningful updates that enhanced technology, efficiency, and safety without changing its winning formula. New digital instrument clusters replaced traditional analog gauges on many trims, giving drivers a cleaner and more modern interface. Larger infotainment screens with faster software made navigation and smartphone integration smoother than ever. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto became available in more markets, reducing cable clutter and making everyday driving more convenient. Toyota also continued improving hybrid performance, making the system quieter, more responsive, and even more fuel efficient. For many buyers, the Corolla Hybrid became the ideal balance between affordability and low running costs. By 2025 and 2026, Toyota expanded the availability of advanced safety features across much of the Corolla lineup. Depending on the market, systems like blind spot monitor, rear cross-traffic alert, and the latest Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 became standard or available on more trim levels. The updates weren't flashy. They were thoughtful. Every improvement made the Corolla easier, safer, and more enjoyable to live with. And that's exactly what Corolla owners had always appreciated. Looking back from 2000 to 2026, it's easy to see that the Corolla's greatest strength was never a single feature. It wasn't the touchscreen. It wasn't the hybrid system. It wasn't even its legendary reliability. Its greatest strength was its ability to evolve without forgetting what made it successful in the first place. Every generation became safer, smarter, more efficient, more comfortable, and more enjoyable to drive. Yet through every redesign, one thing remained unchanged. The Corolla continued to be a car that millions of people could depend on. And perhaps that's why, after more than 50 million sales worldwide, the Toyota Corolla isn't just one of the most successful cars ever built. It's one of the most trusted. So, if you had to choose just one Corolla generation, from the dependable 2000 model to the technology-packed 2026 version, which one would you drive and why? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through the evolution of the Toyota Corolla, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next automotive documentary. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.